Hello, everybody. I'm David here. Welcome to the 10th episode of the Dugout Crew podcast. It is the 25th of May, 2023. And I am joined by Eric Lima, everybody.
Hello, everyone out there, baseball fans. What's happening?
Now we are having some changes here, starting with this episode. First, a few updates for our panel. Chester just tested positive for the COVID virus, so hopefully he'll get better and be back with us next week. Joey is working, but he did tell me he'll be back here next week for sure. And unfortunately, Chase DeCanio is about 45 minutes away from home. I believe a traffic or something, but hopefully Mr. DeCanio will be here with us at some point. And there's Scott Fordham Williams here in the live chat. Welcome aboard. And Snummy Multimedia is supposed to be with us here in the here this afternoon, so we will welcome him here once he gets here. I already sent the link and everything else. So I'm gonna get started here. Um, with the change, we are now going to be here on the David Dawson Network as we're going live here permanently because my sports channel did not really work out as well. But I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna stick with the advertising network because I feel like that's the better place to do it now with the viewers I have and everything. So I'm just gonna stick with that from now on. And here's Remington in live chat. Welcome. Um, Nice to see you here, Remington. And yeah, this is going to be where we're at, and we're also going to be at another network, Snowman's Network, starting next week. Um, so let's get to the news right here. But first, Eric, how are you doing today?
I'm gonna say what's up to Godfather Dominic and Remington, Jungle Gamer 85. What's going on? I'm doing pretty good, actually. I got a bit of a surprise. It's baseball related, so it's right here on my desk, and can't wait to show it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nice. Um, so first, let's get to the news. Um, Mets are calling up Gary Sanchez, the power hitter catcher that was formerly with the New York
They
Yankees
need
and the
him.
Minnesota Twins. Yep.
They need him.
Uh, Charles Donaldson reportedly set his thumb at his house in return has once again been delayed after ultimately being out with a hamstring injury he suffered in April. Freddie Freeman has his 300th home run, one of the best players, right now. Youngblood and what's up, Eric?
Yeah,
Um,
young blood. That's you.
um, Jose Altuve is off the IL, but so he's back with the Houston Astros, which they need him. Uh, the Cubs have designate assignment former Red Sox, former Padre Eric Hosmer.
Hosmer. Well, if Tristan Casas keeps struggling, well, I'm sure the Red Sox wouldn't hesitate in getting him back.
Maybe sometime down the line, but I personally cannot see that happening because he keeps getting. Uh, oh, here is Snowman, everybody.
Hey, Brian, how you doing? Brian Snow.
Uh, I made it.
Yes.
I
There
was
you
in the
are.
barn dealing with feeding rabbits and feeding kittens, and
Oh.
I came back and I nearly passed out again.
Uh,
Oh God.
I listen, we all have comfy chairs when we're doing broadcasts, sitting in front of the computer. I'm in my comfy chair, and David can tell you because I usually go on with my afternoon show at 2:00. I
Yep.
sat in this chair at 1:30. I said, all right, I'm going to close my eyes for 15 minutes and then I'll be cranked up and ready to go. Right? Wrong. I look at my phone and it's 20 after 2:00 and I'm going, what? So I quickly cranked up. I got the show in. I'm sending it to my affiliates, working on editing it and sending it to my affiliates now as we speak. And then I remembered I had this show with Dave with you guys.
Uh-huh.
So I said, okay, let me go out to the barn. Let me feed the rabbits now because I know I have another taping and a play-by-play call to do tonight. And there's one thing I forgot to do in this routine. I forgot to take a nap. because I usually take a
Hey.
nap after my morning show.
Mhm.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
Hey, Snowman. At least you didn't forgot to hit the like button like Eric.
Oh. Ah.
That
Ah.
it was the funniest thing. He wasn't. There was a few weeks ago. This happened.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was taking over the podcast for him because he had to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, and I'm doing the show, and then my friend Jason's like, "Hey, you didn't hit the live button. It's supposed to go live." And I'm looking. I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like,
Been there.
uh,
Been there.
Snowman.
so
Been there. Been there. Done that.
Yeah.
I got the funniest broadcast story for you guys. I went to Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
And what's up, Babe Pizzle? I went to
Hey,
Kansas City to cover Chicago State and UMKC at Kemper Arena. I checked
Mhm.
all my equipment before I hopped on the bus. I took a Greyhound from Chicago to Kansas City because the team had already left. They were a day ahead of me.
Uh-huh.
And I found out this wound up being a 2-day trip instead of a 1-day trip. I get to Kansas City. I'm hungry. I'm tired. And I'm walking to Kemper Arena from the hotel where I stayed. And it wasn't far. Got everything set up. I'm ready to go, but then I realized I didn't have a long enough cord for my microphone.
Oh boy!
So I pull the mic cord out of my tape recorder, and it sort of kind of disintegrated.
Rip.
That's
Ouch.
Luckily,
Hey.
the folks at UMKC were gracious enough to lend me a headset mic and a mixer so I can really do it right. So got everything done. I didn't want to give up the equipment, but I knew what I had to do to really upgrade what I do.
Yeah. I believe Eric, you were taking over me because I was at the opening day game last month. Fenway Park when I went to Fenway Park for opening day.
Oh, that's right. You went to Fenway Park opening day. That's why I forgot you were
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, you went to Fenway Park for opening day. That's when everything
Yeah.
almost like
And
a
you
hex-
forgot to hit the button to go live.
Yeah, I forgot.
Lord,
Yeah.
I've done that. I've done.
Oh man, I was like, holy crap! And then we joked about it. It went on the air.
Eric, you thought what you went through was bad. What I went through this afternoon was even more hilarious. I said I would close my eyes for 15 minutes. I would steal a nap and then I'd be ready to go at 2:00. Nope.
Right, yeah.
2:20. I'm looking at my phone. Going, why is it 2:20? Oh hell.
Holy crap, I gotta get going.
I'm literally scrambling because my first guest, David, was supposed to lead off the show. I slept through that. And then I was supposed to have Justin on at 2:30. He go to 3. I shut down. I steal an hour. Then I get here.
Yeah.
Nope. 2:30. I keep this. I keep the schedule with Justin. We had a great conversation. I take a break. I nearly fell asleep again.
Yeah.
And I knew I'm sitting there and I'm fighting to keep my eyes awake. And I knew if I closed my eyes, y'all would have seen me snoring loud.
Not a good idea.
I slept. I just a couple times. I knocked out during live streams. Like, Eric, wake up! Oh, holy crap! You know, it's like that is happening.
Like Ben, for example. But
I'd be like this, and then Eric, what?
So Snowman, what do you do on your YouTube channel? Because this is your debut here on the David Dawson Network.
Yeah.
Tell us about yourself of what you do on your YouTube channel.
Well, my YouTube channel, which is called Snowman Multimedia, just originally housed my morning show, Snowman in the Morning. But then I started airing a lot of games that I would broadcast, local games on the channel. And that's what constituted the change. And I said, all right, this would be my multimedia channel. And I wanted to line it up with the email address that I have. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that. So it was either start over and go through another long process of gaining subscribers, or repurpose this one, keep the email address that it's registered under, and just use your email address to send notifications out to people. So I decided the latter was the best move for me in
So
keeping the current channel, which is now at over 600 subscribers, and I'm so happy for that. And
yeah,
just go from and just went from there.
indeed. So on how this show works is basically we go over the news. Usually we have other people on here, Joey, Jason, and Chester, but they're absent right now. I mean, Jason might be here at the end, but he's 45 minutes away from home.
Hmm.
So it's just gonna be the three of us here so far. So we how this show works is we will go over the news I have listed, and then everybody else does reports of their respective teams. So that's how the
Okay.
show works.
Okay.
So while I read the news, you all you know just wait to talk until after I'm done here.
Hmm.
So we just got done going over that Eric Hosmer with the Cubs has been designated for assignment. Reds debuted their Connect uniforms. Right-handed pitcher Tristan McNeils will make his first of many rehab stars on his way back from tears major strain. Cody Bellinger on the 10-day IL with left knee confusion. This past weekend, Sandy Bogarts and Rafael Devers had their reunion. Since Bogarts haven't went to the Padres from the Red Sox, and what was your reaction, Eric, when you saw that?
It was good because when the Red Sox were playing the Padres over the weekend, and I thought
Yeah,
it was an opportunity not only for the Red Sox. I'm sure Don Arcillo. I'm surprised Arcillo did not really like, but it was Bogarts and Devers. Listen, they're like two peas in a pod, and
yeah,
Devers has learned a lot from Xander. Obviously, Xander's been on two World Series teams, and and Rafi's only in one. And it's good to see that, and he says it's good to see them advice and them, them even joking around, having fun during the games they played. It was good to see. So, I miss
yeah,
Xander on the Red Sox, but baseball is a business, so gotta do what you gotta do.
yes, 100%. Yankees destiny assignment Aaron Hicks, which
Really, Aaron Hicks is
Yeah,
yeah,
one of the.
I'm not surprised.
I,
I'm not surprised at that.
I am because the fact is that Aaron Hicks is one of the good players. They're decent players, but not
Yeah.
all.
he's been struggling. So
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, Padres opt out HA Predators remain contract. Covenant oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, no, excuse me. Padres GM remains confident in 2023 squad despite saying we are gonna get this turned around because the Padres have been struggling. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
see.
Mm.
Mickey's in the house. Welcome.
What's up, Mickey?
Um,
Mickey Delaney, how you doing?
welcome aboard. Trevor Bauer has been sent down to the minor leagues over there in Japan. So yep, there's another. Yep.
Bauer's got more
Uh,
issues than Sports Illustrated. Let me tell you. So
yep. Trevor Bauer. Ken Giles is heading to the Dodgers organization on a minor league deal. Hero Reyes is placed on the 15 IL with the left hamstring. I'm telling you, these pitchers keep getting hurt.
Yep.
Pitch clock.
Yep.
It's
The
not
pitch clock.
pitch clock's not
Uh,
effective. There's another
Harrison,
snowman. Wrestling
Hey,
snowman.
yes,
there's another snowman, wrestling snowman.
He,
How are you
my
doing?
friend calls him on Val Snow because he's a big wrestler now. So
yeah.
Hey, wrestling snowman. I want to get you on my show soon. We-
there you
I
go.
never, I've
Snowman
never
and
seen.
snowman. There you go. I love it. Let's do
Yes,
it.
Why not? Why not,
I
man?
never seen. I never seen him on. I don't remember the last time I've seen him on the stream before, but it was really nice to see that. Royals DFA'd Hunter Dozier.
Oh,
Max Muncy said the Cardinals catchers were booing the home plate umpires throughout the series to get favorable calls. We all know me. Um, and I see another snowman here. We all know about the situation with Wilson Contreras back in our series, Eric, with the
Yes.
Cardinals.
yeah,
Yes.
That was ridiculous.
yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes
We all
these
know those crazy umpires. Snowman, you can agree with me on this. The umpires are the worst in the game when it comes to
yeah,
those stuff.
Oh, that's awful. It's
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, it is.
Awful.
Yeah.
I think these new rules are empowering the umpires a little bit more, and that
Mhm.
it's just really the pitch clock thing. Oh God,
Yeah.
It's stupid, man.
yeah,
It's stupid.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Blue Jays manager is saying enough is enough. They're struggling offensively, but it turns out later on they beat the Blue Jays 20-1. I mean,
The
the
Rays.
Tampa,
Yikes.
the Rays, 20-1. That's wow.
Jeez. That's what you call it, straight up mollywhopping. Let me tell you,
That's an understatement.
the
Good
Yep.
lord.
Rays are on a
Good
tear
lord.
right now.
That hurts. That
The,
hurts.
the Rays are on a tear in
20-1.
the AL East.
The
Mhm.
the position player was trying to pitch. He couldn't get out of the inning. He was. It was
Oh,
ridiculous.
good lord!
Well, that was bad. That's
Yep.
bad.
Jeez.
This past weekend, 1,582,016 fans was the best in April or May in the past 6 years.
Wow, over a
Yep.
million fans in those first 2 months.
Wow. Didn't see
Yeah.
that one coming.
Mm-hmm. Will Smith shares an exchange with Osuna after being hit by his backswing. Uh, well, at least there was some drinking problems. Um,
Oh, thank God for that.
yep, yep. Brewers signed veteran right-handed pitcher Julio Terrian to a major league deal up to his deal with the San Diego Padres. Carlos Correa has reportedly been diagnosed with muscle strain in his left foot and plantar fasciitis. And I quote, I think we get to Friday and see what our decisions might be made for us. Now, I know when Carlos Correa tried to sign with both Mets and the Giants, there was some injury concerns. So maybe this
Mhm.
is one of the many. Uh, um, the Dodgers are calling up their top prospect, Bobby Miller, to start versus Spencer Strider and the Braves. And Mike Trout has passed Joe DiMaggio on the all-time home run list as of was it last night? I believe it was last night. Um,
Yeah,
and
him and
the
Otani. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
best one-two punch in all history, right there in our current generation,
Oh, yeah.
in all sports right now.
Hmm.
Here are the power rankings from May 15th to May 22nd. And number 1 is Baltimore, 2 is Tampa, 3 Atlanta, 4 the Rangers, 5th Dodgers, 6th Houston, 7th Arizona, 8th Mets, 9th the Yankees, and the 10th Milwaukee.
Hmm.
Interesting power rankings right there.
Arizona Diamondbacks.
Now,
When was the last time we seen Arizona Diamondbacks in a power ranking? In the
yeah,
top power ranking at that.
Years probably.
yeah, it's crazy because they haven't been to playoffs since 2017, if I recall,
Mhm.
and they've been down ever since then. And now they're probably that Blue Jays trade prospects really helped them
Yeah.
supposedly. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll see what happens going forward. The Diamondbacks is crazy. So Snowman, we asked everybody else this at the beginning of the season. How did he get into the game of baseball?
My dad. My I grew up in Chicago, grew up on the South Side, and one day in '82, my father took all of us, my sister, my mother, and me, to Comiskey Park to see the White Sox play the then California Angels. Yeah, my sister, my cousin, and my mother were doing something else. Dad and I were paying attention to the game and breaking it down. He was teaching me the scoreboard and everything. Scorebook, I should say. Well, that did it. I fell in love with baseball. After that, I had a chance to see the winning ugly team for the White Sox in '83. 1990, we get close to the go close to the Oakland Athletics, but then the Minnesota Twins came out of nowhere in 1991. I was at New Comiskey Park on September 27th, 1993, when the White Sox won the final American League West Division with the standings that they were, just East and West.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have my voice for 2 days after that.
Mm.
But my favorite moment, and Dominic, yes, I am a South Sider and a Sox fan to my heart. 3 generations worth, my grandpa, my pops, and me. But the thing that really sealed it for me was October 23rd, 2005. I'm in U.S. Cellular Field when Scott Podsednik walked us off against Houston.
Nice.
And I thought I didn't have a voice when we clinched the West Division title. Please.
And now you're a White Sox fan, but on this show you will be covering the Giants.
I will be covering the Giants.
Yes,
Buster
because
how did I become a Giants fan? Will Clark, Buster Posey, Barry Bonds.
Yes.
I got hooked on the Giants a while back. They were, even before Buster Posey, they were one of my adopted National League teams. And I get asked all the time, you're a White Sox fan. How come your National League team isn't the Cubs? I said, I'd have too long to explain that to you. I would take up too much time.
100%. There's Stacy Kenyo in the live chat. Hope you're doing well here today. Yes, that walk-off home run back in 2005 was back to go, Dominic says. And
that led the White Sox to break their own curse.
Yes,
the World
year
Series.
after 2000.
October 26, 2005. I was at home with my mom and dad. My dad was going through cancer treatments at the time. So prostate cancer treatments. He was going through chemo. And I didn't realize at the time that chemo was poison and it was eating him up. But that night in the house, when I did like my own play-by-play call and I called the last out, my dad was standing right there and we must have hugged for 20 minutes.
That's a moment you'll never forget.
I was crying that night. Then after Dad went back to bed, Mom came in, we hugged, and she said, Tiny's looking down on you right now, doing a dance. That's my grandfather's nickname. I know he was dancing. Hell, I'm dancing. I'm dancing.
All right.
My viewing, after the Blackhawks one, my favorite team's viewing winning championships is complete.
Yeah, I mean, I got to see the Red Sox win the championship, same with the Patriots. It's a wonderful thing when your team wins all at the end. It's a moment you'll never forget.
Doesn't it hit you different? Doesn't it hit you different when you see your team that you've watched for many years win it all?
Yeah.
Doesn't it hit you different?
It does. I can testify because watching the Patriots winning their first Super Bowl back in 2001, 2002, when Adam Vinatieri kicked it through the uprights.
As time
it's like I can't believe it. I can't, it's unbelievable. It's like a dream, but it's like a dream, but it's like can you wake up from it? And it's like you can't. It's like it actually happened. It was.
I'll never forget this as well.
Love that.
And 2004 when the Red Sox won, on how the Red Sox won it all.
Yeah, coming back from 3-0 down against the Yankees.
Yeah, against the Yankees. Yeah. I'm going, how in the world? It's like, and also we won. Yeah. Well, I did meet Adam Vinatieri at a local mall. A few weeks after that.
Yeah,
and got an autograph from him. And in fact, he signed something. 2004 when I was like, because against the main rival, the Yankees, I had people picking on me about the Red Sox. Billy Buckner and 1918, they're bums. They're this. That. Oh, they do so well and then they do awful. And then 2004 hit. I mean, the one thing that goes through my mind is how the heck did we break the curse with a guy by the name of Mark freaking Bellhorn?
Mark Bellhorn.
Mark Bellhorn
hit a key
homer in Game 6. I'm like, because they thought when it bounced off the wall, but it was bounced off the fan, so the umpire ruled it a home run.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
The stadium.
And it was
revenge for beating the evil empire.
it was.
I would guess.
I
Oh
was-
man.
So I know how, because it was I listened 86 years. I know how it felt, but having the Red Sox do it in that fashion, going down to 4 straight and then 4 more straight, it was something. I'm like, oh, it's like something that will be talked about for years, and it's still talked about. You know,
Football wise, what did it for me? Montana to Clark against the Cowboys. Because my entire class, I was in 4th grade. My entire class picked the Cowboys to just run over the 49ers. My teacher was a big time Cowboy fan.
Oh boy.
And she was talking mess that Friday.
Oh boy.
And finally I had enough. And then, the Cowboys are going to win, right? We're going to walk all over the 49ers. And finally I had enough. And I yelled out, man, the 49ers are going to beat the Cowboys. Whole room went silent. And Mrs. Jefferson she's trying not to laugh. All right. She's trying not to laugh. Comes over and says, you dare pick against the Cowboys? Yeah. So by this time, this little 10-year-old kid is feeling a lot of nerve, right? Being the only guy to pick the 49ers. And I said, I'm willing to bet you a bunch of cupcakes that the 49ers will beat the Cowboys on Sunday. So she comes over to me and she's, like I said, she's kidding around. She's kidding around with me. She looks at me and she says, you're on. And my brain, when I went home, went, what the hell did I just do? And Dwight Clark saved my hide. Montana to Clark saved my hide because we were down 6, and Montana throws that touchdown pass, and I'm going, thank you, God. Because how in the hell am I going to tell my mother we got to bake some cupcakes? I got to pay off a bet. I find out later when I graduated St. Margaret of Scotland that she wasn't going to hold me responsible for that bet anyway. Part 1 and part 2, she had plans because it was a football Monday to like bring in cupcakes for us anyway. Came in and she had this scowl on her. She had this scowl on her face and brings in the cupcakes. We all grab one and she comes right to me and goes, how did you know?
Yes.
I was a 49er fan since.
Yeah, grinning ear to ear at that point.
Here to here. I'm grinning from Chicago to San Francisco. Okay.
There you go. There you go. There you go. I want to answer a question here. No, I'm a Red Sox fan. Been a Sox fan. Been here in Massachusetts. Been a Red Sox fan since 1986. But I can't believe your teacher did the cupcake bet.
Look, I thought I would be off the hook for saying that. As it turns out, as I learned later, I was completely off the hook because she was going to bring cupcakes anyway. But the condition was that the Cowboy fans would get up and get their cupcakes first since they won the game. She brought cupcakes for the whole class. And like I said, I went up and grabbed the first one, and everybody else came up and grabbed one. And she just looked at me and went, how did you know?
Shock look on her face, you know.
My mother, God rest her soul, I lost her 2 years ago, and I remember she would constantly ask me, she would go, you're from Chicago? Yes. You live here in Chicago? Yes. Why are you a 49ers fan? Because they play football correctly.
I mean, what got Jason? He lives in Florida, but he used to live in New York, and he's a Mets fan. So what's the point?
Yeah. I'm
and
thinking,
now,
okay, what's the problem?
Yeah.
I'm from Chicago and I'm a 49er fan. And I live near Indianapolis, so my wife is a big time Colts fan. So there are two.
Really?
Yeah.
There are two teams in this household, although one gets priority, and of course that's Jody with the Indianapolis Colts, and she brought me this sweet Colts jacket. I want to say in February. Man, I was sporting that thing every day.
I've been a local Boston sports fan since the 80s, man. You know,
Is
always
this true? Is this too?
Dominic Williams, do you like the Bears too, Brian? Okay, let me answer that question as eloquently as I can. Hell no.
We'll get on a version of Stevie A. Smith here.
Hell no, I don't like the Bears. I mean, 85, I got swept into the euphoria, okay? And plus, they went to Candlestick Park and kicked the 49ers' ass. Okay, so that year, yes. After that, no.
Yeah.
Hell to the no. I'm a Montana guy. Montana did it for me. Okay?
Montana's one guy. Yeah, we used to respect. Yeah. Like
what about for hockey, Brian? What about for hockey?
Blackhawks. First team I ever loved was the Edmonton Oilers because of Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, Grant Fuhrer. And then they played the Blackhawks one night in Chicago Stadium. I just happened to listen to the game with Pat Foley on the call, and the Hawks were down 4-1 in the third period. I said, there's no way they're coming back. I went to bed. Next morning, my mother has the radio on, and I hear this crowd roaring. What the hell? I go in, and I find out the Hawks came back and won the game 6-4.
This is great.
Like, what? I dare not tell my mother.
That's why you never miss the rest of the game. Never
exactly.
Yeah,
they scored 5 goals in 10.5 minutes.
Yeah.
This is the Doug Wilson. This is the Doug Wilson, Dennis Savard crew. All right.
I would love to have you on my hockey show there this year.
Done.
If you want to.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
Well, there you have it, Jason. If you're still watching, Jason.
But I said, how did they come back and win that? It was 4-1. They're playing one of the greatest dynasties ever in the Edmonton Oilers. Okay, stadium full but quiet, and I hear the despondence in Pat Foley's voice. And I said, "The heck with this! I'm going to bed." I wake up the next morning. Like I said, there's a roar. My mom has the radio on. She has the TV on. And when you're watching the early morning news, guys like
before the internet, right?
Yep. This is before the internet. When you're watching the early morning news, you're waiting for the sports to come on. Okay? My dad's already gone. My dad's already gone to work. I look at the screen and my mouth dropped. The Blackhawks wound up coming back to win that game 6-4. And of course, the final goal was an empty netter because they peppered Grant Fuhrer with 22 shots in 10 minutes. And I'm just looking at the television screen and listening to the radio, and I'm going, how?
Yeah.
How the hell did they do that?
You have to watch the highlights in some way back then.
I did. Yeah. And I saw the highlights later that day. I'm like, wow.
How did you watch the highlights back then? Was it Sports Center or something?
Local News.
Oh, okay.
Local News. I didn't get hooked on Sports Center until we got cable in '87, and then I was all Sports Center and Sunday Night Football on ESPN, and this is when ESPN had an identity, had their own. Identity, you know what I mean?
Yeah, ESPN Live Her was great back then.
Yes.
Anymore.
Yes.
What about for basketball? In case people are wondering, who's your team for that?
The Bulls, the Spurs, and the Warriors. I got hooked on. Well, the Spurs because I love George Gervin. George Gervin started it, and then then David Robinson showed up, and Tim Duncan showed up. Maurice Cheeks traded from Philadelphia to San Antonio, or he joined San Antonio for agency. The Warriors, I got hooked on them in I got hooked on the Warriors in '91, the Run TMC days. Tim Hardaway,
I
Mitch
see.
Richmond, and Chris Mullin.
Oh, I remember those guys. I remember
And then got hooked on them in 2005 because they were like the Cubs in a way, the lovable underdogs.
Mm.
And then out of nowhere, they drafted Stephen Curry.
Oh yeah,
And that was that.
mm-hmm.
He's a great player.
And that was that. It was
Mhm.
supposed 2015 was supposed to be the Clippers' time to win a championship, which is what many people told me. And then the Warriors kind of took care of that.
Yeah.
I went and laughed my head off.
you were
Yeah.
the Golden State Warriors. I gotta tell you, that team is a dynasty now. I consider that a team a dynasty.
Thank you.
The Celtics last season met them in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Warriors took that series in 6, and I was like,
yep, 6 and Stephen Curry sealed it.
Yep.
In 6 games.
Oh yeah. So I said I knew the Celtics. I would love to see the Celtics win the championship, but I know the Warriors were very very good.
Yeah,
you can't deny that. So it's like
Game 4 got the Warriors back into the series.
Yeah,
and Steph went crazy then.
Yeah, it's like you can't stop. That was the main key. You got to stop.
I never heard the Garden that silent.
Yeah,
yeah.
Never heard the Garden that silent.
And I hope the Celtics can do the impossible, but
I hope they
don't see
win
that
tonight.
happening.
I hope the Celtics win tonight at home and they blow the roof off the Garden.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope they blow the roof off the Garden and force Game 6 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Now back to. Sorry, continue on, Eric.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm hoping they do it too, because I'll tell you what, they the channel 2004 Red Sox to do it, because I knew the Heat was gonna be tough. I didn't think they'd be this tough,
Also, Eric, you know something me and excuse me, you know what you and the Snowman have in common?
What?
He hates LeBron James with the passion.
Oh, I can't stand him. That's why I was so happy the Lakers got eliminated by the Nuggets. The Nuggets.
In 4 words, don't get me started.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Don't get. I'll say it plainly. They've been hyping this guy up for 20 years, and he hasn't done a doggone thing.
Yeah.
Yep. And back to baseball. Who is your favorite baseball player of all time? There's someone.
Too many to name, because I loved Will Clark, Ken Griffey Jr., Frank Thomas, Don Mattingly.
He was good with the Yankees.
Big Papi, David Ortiz.
Oh yeah,
loved him.
Yes.
I loved Pedro Martinez.
Oh,
yeah.
Yankees and called them my daddies.
My first favorite pitcher was Lamar Hoyt of the White Sox. Love Nolan Ryan. Love Dr. K, Doc Gooden.
I remember him.
And I mentioned Will Clark already. Kevin Mitchell.
Oh,
Giants. Kevin Mitchell. Kurt, 2 pounds and 1 shilling. Both with the Diamondbacks and with the Red Sox.
Oh yeah.
Randy Johnson. Loved watching him.
Yep.
I mean, he got drunk.
My first besides Lamar Hoyt and anybody White Sox, my first real favorite player was Keith Hernandez when he was at the Cardinals.
That's
Keith Hernandez, and then I discovered Darryl Porter, the catcher. I'm like, wait, how did he get MVP? And then I looked at the highlights. Yeah, he deserved it.
Yeah.
But my favorite power hitter is Frank Thomas.
Oh yes,
number 1 pick for the White Sox back then.
Yes.
And now it's time to go to our reports. Eric will start first. That way, someone here can learn what we do here. So, Eric, go for it.
All righty then. The Red Sox, man. When you go up against a team like the Angels, they're with Shohei Ohtani and Frank Trout in that lineup, it's like almost a modern day version of the Bash Brothers. Canseco, McGuire in Oakland. Back in the late '80s.
Yes.
They got swept by the Angels. They're on a 4-game losing streak right now. The Padres shut them out in the last game of the season, last game of that series. The Angels beat them 2-1 Monday, Tuesday 4-0. They got shut out there.
Yeah.
Yesterday they got beat 7-3. Ohtani and Trout, like I say, Trout did a lot. And despite the fact though they got swept by the Angels, they're not in last place.
Right.
They're not in
Well,
last.
they're tied for last. They're tied for last place.
Well, technically, they're up by percentage points over the Blue Jays. They had the same amount of wins, but Blue Jays got one more loss than the Red Sox do. So they're in fourth place right now. Let's see the games we got coming up next. It's the Diamondbacks, a 3-game series there at Diamondbacks. We come home, and the Red Sox we're facing Cincinnati, and the 7-game homestand with the Rays. I'd say 3 games with the Reds, 4 games against the Rays, who have been friggin' hot. You know what they've been doing.
Yep.
Back in a row against the Guardians, and for the first time next month, for the first time this season, we're playing against the Yankees, June the 9th through the 11th.
I want to hear a Red Sox winner.
Yeah, so do I. So, let's see what happens. I believe. Oh, I got a little surprise. Speaking of the Red Sox, I just got this in today. I ordered this on Fanatics.com, and
I should have given you my affiliate link. Doggone it. Nice.
Yep, the
I got that verse.
2003 Red Sox yearbook, and had everything in it. And they got Chris Sale, they got Kenley, who has done well. Kiki Hernandez, Corey Kluber, Kiki Hernandez, Trevor Story, Adam Duvall, James Paxton, and he's my favorite current player besides Rafi right now.
Nice.
$90 million man, and the guy,
very nice.
Yeah, so I just got this in today. I was really excited. So so Fanatics.com, man, they're the best.
Need to find one of those for my beloved White Sox, man.
I'm sure.
Also Giants.
Yeah, that is because as crazy as this sounds, the White Sox are very popular.
Yeah. About you've asked me about Corey Kluber moving to the bullpen. I was kind of shocked they decided to do that. The Red Sox did, because I thought they would outright release him.
Yes.
Struggling, but I think maybe a move to the bullpen would help Corey Kluber. I know he doesn't usually hasn't, because
you got to, with what Kluber has gone through, you got to work to stretch him out.
Yeah.
And get him back to being a starter. So
and
you can do what the Braves did with John Smoltz when he had a horrific injury.
Yeah.
They put him in the bullpen.
Yeah. And Smoltz usually a pretty good closer too. They did the same thing with Derek Lowe, actually. And look how well Lowe did. I mean, obviously Lowe has did major league history and won all 3 clinching games.
1999.
Yeah. Who would have thought that? I think Red Sox ended up being the winners that Heath Slocum trade with Lowe and Veritek coming over from the Seattle system.
Yep.
Like I say, hopefully this would help Kluber out, and you got Tanner Houck, some of the young pitchers starting to come along. So, Paxton and everybody else there. So, moving Kluber to the bullpen could be very, very helpful to him. And I think that in the long run, if it will stretch, like I said, stretch him out a little bit more, like Brian said. And I'm really, really it's going to be very interesting to see what they do now with Kluber in the bullpen.
Yeah,
it is going to be interesting to see what see what they do. It's really going to be interesting to see if they can get Corey Kluber back to what he was in his Cleveland days.
Yeah,
and that was a very dominant starter.
Yeah, he. I can't get over. I got this, man. It was like it came in just in time. Like, oh, good, Dugout Crew podcast, and I got this to show off. There you go. So,
Talk about timing.
I got a lot of Red Sox yearbooks. In fact, I've been having Red Sox yearbooks since 1989.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I have a lot of Red Sox yearbooks. So I knew like a lot of players. I can rattle some of the players off that I know. Listen, I'm a hardcore Red Sox fan to the point where I can mention guys like Phil Plantier, who used to play for them, Mo Vaughn, Scott Cooper, Bob Zup. One player that I could not believe joined the Red Sox by a trade was Jose Canseco. When I found out we got him, I'm like, what? We got Canseco? I was like, I never thought we'd get somebody like him. Well, me and my friends when we were kids joking around. Imagine if Jose Canseco played with the Red Sox or Mark McGwire or Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson, that was another guy I never thought would come to the Red Sox, but he did. But Jose Canseco was one player that I never thought we would get. Of all the Red Sox players we had from other teams or homegrown, never thought we'd get Jose Canseco. I thought I was really excited. Like him and Mo Vaughn, we're going to go to the World Series. We're going to win it all. Then when because Cleveland swept us right out of the playoffs in '95. So,
but while we while we give Snowman a little bit of time to think about the Giants, can you give us a little bit of a rant about Sports Mania with Boston? Even though Chase is not here for it, can you just do a little rant about the Boston Mania? What fans don't understand? Can you do that? Can you do that for us, Eric? About giving a rant about Boston haters and all that on here.
Yeah, sometimes people hate on. I think we've been successful for the past 20 years, and and there are a lot of people out there that are upset with us. I said, listen, they played hard, they worked hard. They complained about we cheating and all that, and all that. Listen, you don't know how we Boston sports fans feel when our team finally wins a championship. We waited years, decades, generations come and gone. Red Sox waited 86 years. The Patriots waited 60 some odd years to win their first win a championship in a long time. But let me tell you something, the Bruins waited a long time since 72, and we finally won it in 2011. And Bruins are still ticketing Celtics. We're the Celtics are the only team that's won more world championships than any other Boston team. Excuse me. But listen, Boston sports haters out there, listen, you gotta slow your roll. Sometimes, listen, I don't hate on other teams. I'm hoping they do well, and I try to be
only the Yankees.
Yeah, only the Yankees. I only hate the Yankees. I'm not. But I gotta respect the Yankees still because they have some great players. There's some Yankee players to see on the Red Sox, like Jeter, Matsui, and all. Mariano Rivera. There's some classy guys on Yankee players. A-Rod, don't even get me start with him, please. But anyway,
Derek Jeter.
I like Jerry. I like Jerry. He's a classy dude.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter, classy dude. Hideki Matsui is another one. And and I love the fact that the Red Sox fans gave Derek Jeter some respect in his last game at Fenway.
Love it.
Yeah, that was great to see.
A lot of classic. Big Papi, who loves people. Come on, he had fun with Mariano Rivera. I remember, speaking of the White Sox, I love my favorite Big Papi moment in Chicago when Ozzie Guillen and when Big Papi decided to lay down a bunt. And Jerry, God rest his soul, says, "Oh, David Ortiz trying to make a bid for the Red Sox leadoff man for next season." And I remember Ozzie Guillen, one of the funniest people ever as a manager. And I remember he called. I remember he tried to call for Bobby Jenks. He's like, "Give me the big fat guy." I was laughing so much. It was so. He goes. He does this. He mimics. He goes at the dugout, and friggin' Pedroia was right next to him.
Yep.
He's doing the wheelchair.
He's doing the wheelchair.
Big Papi's cracking and so did in there. And I think Shane Victorino, I think it was during the 2000. I think Shane Victorino was there too. He was cracking him up.
Yeah, he was.
And he was cracking him. It was great. You see, and it was another favorite moment. I'm trying to think. There were a lot of great moments. And Ozzie Guillen called on the Bobby Jenks. Like
I was there for that one.
And
tire.
Yeah, I remember that.
2013 We argue with Tim Timmons
Yes.
about call third straight, and then all of a sudden he just grabbed. You hear boom, 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 boom. What's happening? And then umpire ejects Big Poppy.
Dugout phone gone.
Yeah, and Dustin Pedroia was right there, kind of calming down and all that. That was crazy. Doing there, Tyler, and it was,
That was funny.
it was one of the craziest moments of Big Poppy, and everybody made a joke of Poppinato or something like that. Like
Yeah.
shot now with Poppinato, and they're all making like the fake phones, like the cans and all.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that gift,
Yes.
that ceremonial.
That
gift there.
that was that was hilarious. That was hilarious.
Yeah, they made a funny thing out of it, but
Yeah, that was during his retirement.
Yeah.
Mhm.
well, like he was well loved, and
Yeah.
let's see.
I love Big Pop. I love Big Poppy.
Listen, he's like fun,
Yeah.
a lot of fun players in major leagues nowadays. Big Poppy was one of them. Adrian Beltre was another dude who played for the Red Sox,
Mm-hmm.
and when he had so many funny moments too. Another guy who used to play for the Red Sox, Bartolo Colon.
Bartolo Colon.
That was,
That guy,
yes.
Bartolo Colon.
Bartolo
The
Colon.
legend that is Bartolo Colon.
Big sexy Bartolo Colon, as they call him. Oh
I
my god.
saw him.
Behind the back plays to get like, what is he, Bob Cousy now all of a sudden?
I mean, he just had such a feel
He just
for
turned
the game.
50.
Yeah.
He just
He
turned
had
50
such a,
recently.
he had such a feel for the game of where everything was going to go. I've seen him make plays between his legs. I've seen him make plays behind his back, over his head.
But big guy, like
my favorite Bartolo Colon moment, his home run.
Yes.
Yes.
And remember against the Padres, everybody vacates the dugout. And
Everybody was gone.
Yeah, it was great.
Here are the list of teams he played for.
I'll never forget Howie Rose. I'll never forget Howie Rose's call. He said, "It's gonna go home run, Bartolo Colon." And then he pauses, and then he goes, "Repeating home run, Bartolo Colon." I laughed my head off.
Here are the teams he played for: Cleveland, California, Mets, Oakland, Chicago, White Sox, Minnesota Twins, and then the Braves, the Red Sox back in 2008, the Rangers. It says here the Expos and the New York Yankees.
Yep.
Oh, God rest the Expos. Yeah. Adrian Beltre. Another one funny moment from him was they were losing to the Marlins 18-6.
Oh Lord! When he pulled the batting circle,
yeah, the on deck circle over. He's like, "Okay, I'll pull right over into me," and
they kicked him out.
And they threw him out for that. I'm like,
they kicked him out.
They kicked him out for that. I'm like, the umpires got no freaking sense of humor. Jeremy Davis
they kicked him out, and they kicked him out for what? Come on.
Like, what? I was like, what in the world are you? What are you thinking? I'm like,
exactly.
I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, what? It's probably the stupidest ejection.
Yep.
Ever.
Yeah.
And the Rangers radio voice said as such.
Yeah.
The Rangers radio voice said it's 18-6. Have a sense of humor about it.
Yeah,
Let me do a quick report. Let me do a quick report on the Giants.
Yeah, I was thinking.
They had their winning streak snapped by 3 in a row by the Minnesota Twins yesterday in a bad fielding game. 7-1 was the final. Their next 4, they're in Milwaukee, and then they host the Pirates, and the Pirates close out the month on the 31st. But looking at the Giants, they have won 7 of their last 9, and they're picking up steam at the right time. We know the Dodgers are trying to run away with the division, and Arizona's on their heels. But if there's a team you need to watch out for in the National League West, I think it's the Giants. I think it's the Giants. They got 3 with the Pirates to close the month. Then they open June hosting Baltimore. They get a day off on the 5th, and then they go to Colorado for 3 and immediately come back home 3 with the Cubs. I'm sorry. And 3 at St. Louis.
2016, so yeah.
they're still the scrubs to me. And then they get three in St. Louis. This is their June schedule. 3 at St. Louis, then 3 at the Dodgers. That's the time for them to make some hay.
Yeah, there
you got
go.
3 at the division leaders. If they get 2 of those, they're back in the race.
Yeah.
And then the other time they can really make some hay in the West Division. June 19th, they get 4 in a row with San Diego at home, and then 3 with the Diamondbacks. And then they get a day off, and they go north of the border and play 3 with the Blue Jays, and then they go see the Mets beginning on June the 30th. I'll take us to the All-Star break. They get 3 with the Mets. They end on the 2nd. Holiday week, they host Seattle 3rd, 4th, and 5th. July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They get a day off on the 6th, and then 7, 8, and 9, they host Colorado, and then we got the All-Star break.
So you honestly think they're going to win the division, you said?
Giants are a wild card in that division.
Oh, okay.
Because they've won 7 of their last 9. And it seems like they are getting their act together because no one expected them to compete.
Right.
If you read all the pundits, the Giants are the worst team in the National League West, and they're going to be sitting in the basement for a couple of years. Well, Logan Webb has something to do with that. It has something to do with their turnaround. He's their main starter. Tyro Estrada has been hot at the plate, but like I said, a bad fielding game yesterday left a sour taste in their mouth as they head to Milwaukee. I think this series against Milwaukee is going to make or break the Giants season because now you have a chance to prove yourself against a division leader. And
take a look.
They're sitting, if I'm reading this right, 6 games out in the National League West. Who the hell says they can't make up 6 games before the All-Star break?
They can do it. If they keep on playing the way they've been playing, they'll do it.
They're a hot team. They're a hot team right now, but they got to keep their mental attitude going into Milwaukee. And this is a big 4-game series against the Brewers starting tonight.
Yeah, the Brewers are very, very good in their division.
Yes.
So
they
got some great talented talented players on that team. You know, everyone will be pleased to see this. Our good friend C.A. Cougar. He's a big time Giants fan, and so I'll tell you, this is like I said, Dodgers have been dominant for years. So opportunity for the Giants and the Diamondbacks.
Who would have thought today on May 25th that the Padres will be not tied, but in fourth place with the roster they have?
Who would have thought?
And because they were in the playoffs last season in the NLCS against the Phillies. So,
and who would have thought the Diamondbacks would be in second place in front of the Padres, who spent the most money in the offseason over the Mets?
Yeah.
And look at the race. They didn't spend a dime, and look what they're doing.
Thing is, this is a time for all the teams that want to catch the Dodgers to catch them. And the same with
Jason DeCanio. There he is.
Hey, what's up, Jason?
What's going on, guys? Sorry I'm about an hour late. Traffic was getting back from Deltona.
Man, I get it.
Snowman, this is Jason DeCanio, who I was talking about on your show.
What's up, Jason?
Mr. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Talking baseball with a few of my baseball bros. I'm good. I'm feeling great.
Okay. I'd like to talk to you after the show because I got some things that I need to get off my chest, but we'll talk in private about that later.
Yeah. So, here's who would have thought today that the Padres will be in fourth place with the money they spent last season?
Well, you kind of figured we kind of figured the Rockies would be languishing. Okay.
Yeah.
We figured the Rockies would be languishing. But San Diego's starting to languish too in that division with the money that they spent and the talent that they brought in. And they're just not getting the job done right now.
Yeah. It's crazy. All right, Jason. If you want, you could do your Mets report, and since we have time, we could do the sports media rant because that's part of the title. So go for it.
All right, with
We have all
the
the time.
with the late report here, Mets fans were 5.5 out of the division. Can you believe it? We're in second place at 500. The National League East looks like a complete meltdown. I can't believe we're in second place at 25 and 20. I thought that highlight of that
You took the word right out of my head.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the National League East.
I can't believe that we're in second place. How badly we're doing. We're 12-9 at home. That's the only thing saving our little scrawny butts. Our away record's 13-16. We're 6-4 after the Cubs handed us pretty much 2 games. I mean, we're trying to salvage this game tonight. We'll see what happens. But
why can't y'all beat the Cubs?
I don't understand what it is about the Cubs.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Because it's and back in the 80s, the Mets used to handle the Cubs with no problem.
That's right.
But since I'll say 2000, when the year the Mets went to the World Series, it's like a switch has been flipped.
Well, it was the same time.
Because every time the Cubs see the Mets, they light up.
Yeah.
They don't light up for the Cardinals. They don't light up for the Brewers, and they get their ass kicked.
Mm-hmm. They don't show up for the Reds either. But yeah, I don't know what it is about it. But I mean, 2015 we beat the Cubs to get to the World Series also too.
I saw that.
Yeah,
and I remember that radio call with Howie Rose.
Yep.
I remember that radio call with Howie Rose.
Oh yeah. Well,
but
the thing that I remember
please beat the hell out of the Cubs tonight, please,
yeah.
Because you don't want to give a team like the Scrubs any confidence at all. Am I wrong?
Well, and I heard, as I was listening to a little bit of it as I was waiting for my Taco Bell, that you are a White Sox fan,
born and raised.
But somebody says that's a long story why you're not a Cubs fan. So I can probably understand why not being a Cubs fan has its.
Listen, my dad was my dad worked with the post office for many years.
Oh yeah,
and he'd come home, flip on the Cubs game, and pass out.
That's what we all do. Yep.
Look, it was 1:20 in the afternoon. It was WGN.
Yep.
Okay, and remember, WGN carried all the games.
That's right.
All right, before cable TV decided to stick their nose in our business.
And it was all day games.
It was all day games.
No night games to almost 19 what?
88.
Yeah.
I mean, before Sports Vision and cable TV decided to stick their nose in everybody's business.
That's right.
It was all WGN.
Yep.
I come in from school. My dad's passed out. I see the Cubs getting their ass kicked. And I just look and I go, yeah, that's why my dad's asleep. 1984.
Yeah.
When the Cubs miraculously got to the National League Championship Series, and of course back then it was only 2 divisions, East and West. You win your division, you're in the playoffs.
Exactly. No wild card, nothing.
They won the East Division. For some reason, I fell in love with Rick Sutcliffe because I knew I loved his motion. For some reason, I fell in love with Lee Smith, one of the hardest throwing relievers we ever saw.
Oh, I remember Lee Smith. He used to play for the Red Sox too.
Yep.
All I can remember from the Cubs was Andre Dawson and Ryan Sandberg.
Yep.
Yep.
The Cubs were up 2-0. All right, first game, I get home. They're kicking the Padres' ass, 13-1. All right. Rick Sutcliffe hit a home run. And I was nearly sucked in then.
Yep.
Up 2-0. Then they go to San Diego and they got to play at night. I go to school that day and come back. Everybody's on pins and needles. And I'm going, why? And they're like, aren't you excited for the Cubs? No. Why aren't you excited? Why aren't you excited for the Cubs? Because they're gonna blow it. What do you think? They're gonna blow it. Sure enough.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve Garvey.
Nick
And
Nicky Delaney. Do I know him?
he's one of my friends.
Oh, okay. He sent
And
me a friend's request.
he loves all my programming.
Oh,
He loves
okay.
all my programming.
Yeah. Welcome
So
aboard.
yeah, he just wants to be friends with everybody. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate that. I appreciate
It's all
him.
about growing.
He says at least I'm not with Oakland this year.
Right.
I like the Oakland A's, but I mean not recently since the days of Canseco and McGuire and all those guys of the early '90s of when they were really good, and then after a while they just kind of like fell off the face of the earth. And we kid about that with Joey all the time. The poor guy's going through a conniption. He's finally won 10 games. His team has finally won 10 games.
Finally.
Hey,
the
man is
my White Sox finally won 20. All right. So at least a step above that. But what happened after Steve Garvey tied it and Don Drysdale says home run Garvey and there will be it tomorrow? I immediately and that was a Saturday night. I immediately went to bed and my dad just started cracking up laughing.
Yeah.
He comes by my room and he says, "You don't want them to win, do you?" Nope. And
So
then,
sorry.
And then, ground ball hit the door right through his legs. I went upstairs because the debacle happened. I prayed for it. I went upstairs. I hit my knees and I said, "Thank you, God." Because had the Cubs won that particular series and gotten to the World Series, you think 2016 was bad? Imagine 84 or 89, and they both lost, and they lost the California teams both series.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of the Padres and one of the Giants. That's why Cub fans hate Will Clark right now.
Will Clark was a very good first baseman.
Will Clark killed him.
Yeah.
Will Clark killed him in that series.
So finish your report, Jason, on the Mets before we go to
all I can say is this is pretty much after that glorious 5-game winning streak to get shoved in the mouth again by the Cubs' dominant team, basically, even though the Cubs look like they just like sickly, I mean, we're losing to under 500 teams here and not putting these teams away.
And that sucks.
Yeah. And it brings down the expectation. It's upsetting to us Mets fans because we have high expectations to be leading the division by at least 20 games. Can't do it. Hanging around 500, can't be competitive. Our pitching really is just, I mean, it's coming back. Verlander looked great the last 2 starts. Scherzer kind of had a little, I mean, Senga kind of got hung up a little bit yesterday in the game, but overall, I mean, still we need to get some good pitching. We've got the offense and the defense with Beatty and Pham and those guys and the baby Mets as they're called now. Have you seen the headlines? Baby Mets 5 in a row with babies coming up. I'm like, well, I mean, do we have to go young? I mean, maybe so.
Look, Boomer and Gio have a ball talking about the Mets, good or bad, every morning on FAN. And I want to know what their opening song is. I want the song that opens Boomer and Gio.
Well, I thought it could be on YouTube, but maybe copyrighted probably too.
Probably.
Of course. They're going to have some kind of protection.
It's probably YouTube, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I mean, if it's on YouTube,
I couldn't even play Easy Money on my show last Thursday morning without getting a copyright claim against it.
Easy Money.
I figure the song. The question was posed: what are our 5 favorite songs? And one of mine is "Easy Money" by Billy Joel, and I just happened to have it on my soundboard, so I played it. I'm like, okay, screw it. If I'm going to get a copyright claim, I'm going to give them 5 reasons to.
Yeah, it's true.
I think it's time, Jason, you do the rant.
Oh, with the media?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, rant coming, people.
The media is getting a little bit really out there as far as for us Mets. I mean, when you sign up to be a Mets player, you know you're going to get a lot of heat from the media, from all areas of it. And it's just ridiculous how they're just, putting a target on us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys,
I
look, we're really we're really not doing that bad, but at the same time, we can't put the teams away that are kicking us into the curb anyways. If we're going down 6-1, 6-0 in the middle of the inning and don't have a chance and we lose 7-2, yeah, might as well just hang it up. But if we have a chance to really kind of battle back, let's do it. But let's hold the media accountable for it.
Which they won't.
No, which they won't.
Come on, this is too easy. Which they won't.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm from Chicago. You ain't got to say anymore.
Right.
been there, done that. Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt, burnt the sumbitch when I moved.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it.
Right.
Because when the Cubs got to the World Series, not to interrupt your rant, but to add to it, when the Cubs got to the World Series, every station in Chicago was celebrating that. And then ESPN showed a graphic of all of the city of Chicago's championships, and they omitted one big one. Take a guess as to who they omitted.
2016, I would think.
They omitted the White Sox from 2005 on that list.
Uh-oh.
I was not happy.
Yeah, leave it to ESPN to kick it all in the booty.
So they forgot about they forgot about the 2005 White Sox.
Yes. Yeah. They published they showed
the team that waited 88 years to win a World Series and they forget. Oh my gosh, ESPN.
Yeah, Eric.
Eric, you already know how much I was seething when I saw that graphic.
It's like,
I'm just sitting there going, wait a minute, something's missing.
Mm-hmm.
And not a word about the White Sox either. And their championship in 2005. Not a word.
Not a word.
Not a damn word. You want to talk about me seething? That was it.
Yeah.
I was absolutely PO'd when I saw that graphic.
People, White Sox fans might be doing. Can you hear that?
Whoa. We got sound effects now? Where the hell did that come from?
Well, I got in the microphone so that way I'm able to get the soundboard back up. So.
Oh, there we go. I thought it was
because my last microphone kept getting unplugged, so I had to get a new microphone. Now I'm able to do the soundboard again as well.
Yay! He got it back.
Speaking of soundboards, hey Godfather, this is for you. Wait. I did that wrong. Up with the volume. October 26, 2005, this happened.
A ground ball past Jenks up the middle of the infield. Uribe has it. He throws. Out! A White Sox winner and a world championship. The White Sox have won the World Series, and they're mobbing each other on the field.
I'm so happy I have the television call as well as the radio call for that entire game.
Yep.
So is that the end of your rant, Jason?
As far as I know, yeah. Unless for some reason we have to
wait a minute. Is that the end of his rant?
oh, hell no!
Looking like a true compadre, yes.
One thing I know, Mr. Big Mouth calls Mike Tyson a sissy.
Oh, hell no!
No, if I was speaking to like, I don't know what is going on with my mitts.
Yeah.
The day is so stupid. I can't sleep anymore. Knowing for one freaking second we're gonna lose again.
Yep.
Before I get out of here, I gotta give y'all this one.
Stay off the weed.
Well, actually, Snowman, if it can stick around after the show, because me and Jason has to talk to you something on the
Okay.
Off stage.
Yeah. It's off stage.
Yeah, I'll stick around.
Okay.
I'll stick around. I got everything
Look at
done.
this guy he's showing a 2020. Eric Lima's showing media again. There it is.
Yeah.
You gotta show it. You gotta show it off.
Red Sox yearbook just came in today.
For any
Talk about timing.
for any Cubs fan that's out there that think they have a chance,
Stay off the weed.
I like that. That's cool.
I love them.
That's going to be it for this
2016 Cubs
episode.
fans are believing. They want to win every year.
That's going to be it for this 10th episode. I want to thank everybody for watching, and we're live here from now on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're also going to be on the Snummy Network as well for this show, so stay
Yes.
tuned for that. And that's going to be it. I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon, and cross fingers, go Celtics. So
There he goes.
Game 6.